Oh boy.
Are you on?
Yeah, we're on. Let me.
Hello.
Oh, hold on. Oh boy. How do I share this?
Shh. You crazy puppies. Hi. Hi, Erica. Watch this. Watch how fancy.
Cut my head off?
Oh, I cut your head off. Sorry about that. Watch this. Alexa, stop. Now the toilets.
Oh boy.
Okay, be right back.
All
Entertain
right.
the troops.
Entertain all two of you. So what's going on? Say hello. Oh boy, that's why we can't have nice things.
I mean, it's because you're not.
Hey Betsy, welcome to our library.
Hello. He did it in the library with the mallet. What's that? Clue?
Clue. Yes. Who played Clue?
I think they did it in the library with a racket, a what? A something. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to do the entire live in this accent because I think it'll be really fun.
Sit back, be lit, right?
And you do like to pretend, mix it up a little, right? And just kind of like pretend it's somebody else. I wish I could have been somebody else the other night. It sounds like wild horses.
If you can hear that.
Can you hear those?
Those are just cats.
Those are just cats. Little, tiny, aggressive, malicious.
They're not that little.
Crazy, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs cats.
Indeed.
So I'm going to tell you a story about what happened the other night because I posted a picture about this live. Like, I'm going to tell you this embarrassing story. And like, wow. Okay. Just when you think you're working on yourself, right? It's so easy to say that, right?
We're enlightened. Yes.
Oh my God, we've reached the pinnacle of enlightenment. We're so evolved. And then, you think, yeah, man, I've got my act together. I've kind of worked through my stuff. I'm hanging in there. Whammo, you get confronted with an opportunity to see how far you've really come in your life. And then you go, oh, not so much. I see how far or how. So we're going to tell the story. And then we're going to see. Jesus, animals. Then we're going to see what you think and if you can relate to an experience kind of like this.
Because no one has ever experienced anything like this.
I feel like I need to be taller.
I was slouching for you.
Okay. Well, don't, honey. Don't.
I was trying to. It was the only way to.
It's all right. Okay. So Doug, so the other day, let me just tell you the story. Okay. Hello. Say hello when you're in here. Hi, Betsy. Hi, Eric. Hi, George. Say hi when you're here. We want to talk with you and share with you. And then after, if you're watching the replay, still talk to us because we love you. And we really come on here just to hang with you, basically. Okay. We could entertain ourselves all day. That's not why we come on here. Okay.
Well, this is also entertaining ourselves too.
Kinda. It makes breaks up the day a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, last week or 2 weeks ago, you come home and you say, hey.
Our friend invited us to the IPic opening gala.
To an IPic, to the gala. So I said, oh yeah, an IPic is opening up. Yeah, we love IPic, right? Yeah. We go to the one in Boca all the time.
And we're very excited for the fact that there was going to be a closer one because
because we like to eat food and lay down when we watch movies and have blankets and be really super cozy, right? Yeah. I mean, and one would think you have a house, okay, and a couch, and it won't cost you $30 if you just make snacks and sit on your couch with your blankets. But no,
it's not quite as...
we prefer to go out to the theater.
Well, we don't have to cook or clean. That's part of it.
Right.
Because the food is really good there. We'll give them that.
Okay. So,
just saying.
So I'm like, yeah, let's go. We get the sitter, right? We get the sitter all lined up. We get in the car and we're driving. And now I'm working all day and so are you, right? We have our clients all day long. I had like 5 people that day.
I had a busy day too. I don't remember specifically what was going on.
I think you had a lot of meetings that day.
Yeah.
So I'm rushing home, right? And I'm like, all right, just throw something on and we get in the car and we're driving down the IPic.
So do we want to say
No, I will tell you what I'm wearing. I'll get there, honey. We're letting it unfold.
Okay.
So we're driving down to IPic, and I'm like, where's the parking, right? It must be under the thing, because it's in downtown
Because it says,
Delray.
yeah, we were concerned about the parking, but
Yeah.
part of what they built was a parking garage.
We're going to park the car. You better cool your jets. We're going to park the car, and we're going to go in, okay? But no. We pull up. First of all, we pull up. It's a valet situation.
Well, no, before we even get to valet, there are police guiding traffic into the valet. It wasn't even just like, oh, it's valet.
And once you valeted only like onto the red carpet. Okay.
Right.
So it was like you valeted, you get
onto
out.
the red carpet.
It's like the freaking Grammys. All right. Soon as we pull in, we round the corner, I start spying the scene. And see, the feeling of overwhelm starts to come over me. Holy shit. Mother of the Lord in a baby swaddle cloth. I look around, and what do I see? Gowns. We're at the IPic in Delray Beach. Okay. What do I see? Gowns, jewels, pumps with red bottoms. I see all this business happening, and I start to panic. And I could feel myself. We're about to get out. We're about to valet. There's no turning back now, because once you valet, your car's gone. It's gone.
Well, we had cars behind us, so we couldn't back up. You actually at one point were like, I'm like, honey, what do we want to do? Turn around and go change?
I go like this, back up, right? We're in the wrong place, back up. But it's too late. We're already in there, right? It's like it's already coming out, right? It's like you're mid-birth and you're like, change my mind, not gonna happen. So we get out of the car and they shoot us onto the red carpet. Now we go up to get our names checked in. Right, yeah. All right. So now you're like at Studio 54 when it was cool, and you're standing in line, and there's a woman.
There's a big line of people behind us. Oh, which, by the way, so I'll share what I was wearing. I was just wearing pants and a shirt like this, untucked. So I'm standing in line going, oh shit, I guess I should just tuck. So I'm tucking in my shirt as.
Do you understand when I tell you that these women were in gowns? Okay, Betsy, do you understand what I'm saying? That these women had like jewels, accessories. They went and got painted for the day. They had blowouts. They spent at least a good 4 hours preparing for this event. And so I'm automatically, I go, shit, we have to get out now. So we get to the line. What do you think happens at the line? They can't find us on the list. So not only can I just tell you what I was wearing? Okay, I step out of the car in my Aldo pumps and my Rue 21 Freedom Flex pants. Okay, Rue 21. Rue 21's got some good jeans, girls. All right, it hugs you in. It's made for those curvy ones. This isn't what you wear to a gala. You don't bust out your best Rue 21. It's like rainbow status. Okay. You understand? Like rainbow.
I had my Michael Kors.
Okay. You get what I'm telling you? So I'm in my Rue 21 pants and some kind of crepey Nordstrom off the rack, Nordstrom rack shirt. Okay. And I'm like, I'm crepey too. Right. And I'm just like, holy shit. So we get in the line. Our names are on the list. I'm starting to look behind me. Do I know anybody? Are people going to be like, oh my God, not only is she in Rue pants, but she's not on the list.
We're crashing the party.
We're crashing this party where clearly I don't belong here. Now, I haven't had a feeling like that in a long time. All right. That's why it was kind of like my most embarrassing moment. I have not felt that way since I was in 7th grade paying with food stamps and saw somebody from school. Okay. You know that feeling. Maybe you don't. You don't know. You didn't come from the school of ramen noodles like I did, but you were at food stamps, government cheese, waiting in line and prayed to God nobody saw. I'm thinking, I don't belong here. This is the word. And then I look over at you and you go, should I tuck in my shirt? And I'm like, I'm like, can we get out of here? Can we turn around? Can we go back up? Can we back down and like call somebody to see if we can get on the list? Anyway, they let us in. Okay.
Because it was fine.
Okay. Because it was fine.
Yeah.
They let us in. And I'm just like, holy shit, I'm in the wrong place. I don't belong here. So then, but it triggered something in me, right? It triggered this whole...
you were very tense for a little bit. I'm just trying to like, hey, looking around, and I just see her standing there, like almost like tapping her feet, like. And my kid, come on, look at the buffet. Like, no.
It's like, you want a lobster roll? I'm like, no. I feel like I don't deserve a lobster roll. I don't deserve to be here at this place. But I hadn't felt that way for so long. And especially for somebody like me, like, what do I teach for a living, right? I teach be yourself, right? Do you. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. So it was really like a beautiful moment for me to step in to practice what I preach and be tested for reals. All right. Not just like it's cute to talk about it, but when I'm confronted with a thing where I don't feel like I belong, what do I do? How do I kind of get out of that and say, no. I stop second guessing myself. It's like this feeling all of a sudden when you're in this environment, and it doesn't have to be something as silly as this, although this is what it's particularly happened.
But that's where it shows up. And this is like the regular kind of life situations that come up. Like when we go to, everybody, when we go to an event, when we go to a dinner party, when we go to an environment,
group of people where there's a
little,
yeah.
We'll dig a little deeper in a moment, but go ahead, finish your thought.
Well, I was just thinking that here the story starts in our head then. And then the lie is like, something that I don't know. That's one of the lies. Or you have something that I don't have. Or you are somebody that I am not, right? And so then the comparison and the perfectionism starts to set in.
And that's the challenge that we all struggle with, because we all want to experience more. And in order to experience more, you have to compare to what you think is more. So there's this weird dichotomy of being okay with what you've got and wanting more. And then when you're in the environment of more, then you realize you may not have enough, and then what is that specifically, right? So then the stories start coming in, because you were writing the stories, we do it all the time in that moment about what they maybe had or who they are or all of that, because they were wearing a gown and you were wearing Rue 21 jeans.
Rue 21 pants.
It's not that you don't have a gown. That's the other thing.
I have multiple gowns.
Yes.
But my problem with you, Douglas, is that
problem with me?
Yeah, my problem with you, because you go, I told you it was a gala. But see, my husband uses words like gala and soiree for everything. Okay, so it's not like he would be like using that word like, oh, it's a gala. Oh, okay. Like my hubby says, oh, let's go to a soiree shindig, You use that hootenanny. So I just thought you would use that to go to the Olive Garden, even though we don't go there, because if you go there, look, no judgment, but that's a good diet plan, Olive Garden, because nobody's coming out of the bathroom for days if you eat there. So anyway, I was in this situation able to really challenge myself. So I started to get triggered up and say, why is my automatic assumption that everybody else there is doing better than I am? Or that knows something I don't know, or has something I don't have, and that triggers that enoughness in me. And so instead of like getting sucked into that story, I was willing to be a compassionate witness to myself in that moment and say, wow, all right, just be curious about what I'm thinking. Like the ability, to once you go through this process, right, and you coach or you become a coach with us, is that it's not that you are like devoid of problems, right, or that you don't get triggered up.
It's like you're no longer human.
Yeah, right. It's that you have the skills to self-correct, right? So your coach helps you along the way and gives you the skills, but then eventually when you embody this practice, you're able to just intervene in the moment and snap yourself out of it and not get stuck and suck in. Because in the past, that would have been a whole night ruined where I would have felt totally inadequate, and probably it would have led into other things. And in the past, I would have drank to cope with that inadequacy. Well, let me get some liquid courage, or not care so much about what everybody else thinks. And by the way, there was more alcohol there than any place that I had seen flowing freely. Just everybody was drinking. And that was the other thing too, is like, I don't enjoy being in bars anymore, right? I don't drink. I haven't drank for 9 years. 9 years, going on 9 years. And, I was like, wow. So not only am I my Rue 21 pants, but I'm not drinking either. Like I don't have, a lot of, so I could get sucked into that, but I didn't. And I stood in that moment and said, what's the truth about who I am? So let's pretend that I had no story in my mind about how much I had or didn't have. And I felt like I could just be me, right? Because that's the ultimate goal, is just be me and do me. What would I have worn to this event had I been prepared? Let's just start there, right? Because I was shaming myself in the moment for what I had on or what I didn't have on. And then I thought, well, I wouldn't have worn a gown to the IPic movie theater in Delray, personally. No shame on the people that did, but I just would have worn more expensive jeans. I probably would have worn better jeans, more expensive, meaning better made quality, right? Maybe I would have worn like a cooler kind of a dress or cooler top or something like that. But I'm most comfortable in an IPic in jeans, right? That represents kind of me. So I thought, well, how, you know? The other thing is, in that moment when you're looking at other people, and I was looking around, I was thinking to myself, people are really, if you study them and are a student of them, a reflection of what they value. People are a reflection of where they put their energy, right? And so I'm never going to be a person who spends 3 hours at the blowout salon, or I do my own hair. It is mine, despite people think it's not, you know. I mean, I don't color it myself. My girl Lizette does that, but you know, I never get it done, and I'm just wouldn't do that anyway, right? So then I'm thinking, well, God, I let myself off the hook because this isn't something that I would have felt like I would have needed to become in order to go to something like that in the first place, right?
Well, and the other thing that happened once that shift occurred was the RAS, particular activator system, started to activate a little differently, and started noticing there were people there who were not in gowns, who were not like all decked out. They wearing suits and all that. There were people who were dressed down and just casual and hanging out as well.
And that's a brilliant point, because what we notice is that when we go to that not enough space, then we go to extremes, right? It's all or nothing, right? I'm not looking for the best. I'm looking for the best dressed person in the room, or I'm looking for the person who didn't know it was what day of the week it was. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking to see where I fit in. But the reality is that we're all kind of just somewhere in the middle. You know, we're all just on the spectrum. And I just was so grateful in that moment that I was able to relax, let myself off the hook, and then notice what, how I was really feeling and what I really needed or what I really wanted in that moment. And once I did that, I realized a couple of things. You know, I don't like being at those kind of events anymore where there's just, it's like a bar. You know what I mean? It's not fun for me anymore. So I was able to just kind of realize, instead of, you know, putting all this pressure on having to be like everybody else and fit in and punishing myself because I wasn't like everybody else at this thing, I was appreciating myself for my differences and for being the person that I am, and saying it's okay to be me, and even me in this situation. What do I really need and want? Yeah.
Well, and when we look at these situations, when we make a decision about who it is that we want to surround ourselves with and do this consciously, and one of the things that, you know, we talk about is surrounding yourself with people who their normal is what you aspire to, so that you can pick up the tips, pick up the learnings, pick up the energy, pick up the network, just create that life. And when I say their normal is what they aspire to, very often people will automatically go to wealth or status. And what we're really talking about is just being like okay with themselves and celebrating life and things of that nature. And very often it's people who have a certain level of success or status experience that, at least it's perceived that way. And then and we get deeper into this at other times, but the point I'm getting to is that when you put yourself in that environment, you now automatically, though, have someone who, by design, is experiencing something you desire to, but have not yet achieved. You run the risk of feeling that way, putting yourself in feeling inadequate, in feeling not good enough, strong enough, smart enough, rich enough, and what have you. So this is where the dance comes in, where you have to be willing to be strong and certain in who you are and not be comparing yourselves in that way. Like, as an example, like working with Tony, #1 guy on the planet, and then all the people who we hang out with in that world, compared to Tony, well, there's very few people who are like Tony. So to be playing at that field, to be hanging with him, there's an element of, oh my gosh, you know, am I good enough? Am I good enough? You can really talk to me, all of that, when he's just like a normal guy. He's very successful at what he does, and he has a huge impact, and he's still a human being.
I think that's a big ticket. I'm going to change the details of this what I'm going to say, but the story is kind of intact. We went in California to a dinner party with a bunch of very, very wealthy people that were friends. And sitting at that table, you know, listening to all the different stories of everybody, it's like the big trips that everybody went on and all these beautiful excursions, and the wealth in that room was palpable, right? Clearly, I'm the poorest person at the table, right? I have nothing compared to these people. And that would be another triggering kind of thing where I'm sitting around all this massive amounts of wealth. And I could very easily be taken out of the game in that moment and say, my gosh, I'm never, but we purposely surround ourselves. A lot of our friends are these people that have amassed this, you know, amazing kind of life for themselves. And they're also very normal human beings that are down to earth. And
because that's the world we've created, we've manifested. The people we hang with, it's not about their finances at all. It's about who they are as people.
It just so happens
they were able to create that wealth because of them showing up like that. And not all of our friends are like that.
Not all of our friends are like that. I'm just stretching imagination. But in this group of friends, it was like that. And I just remember in that moment thinking, especially because of the people that I work with and the people that I help, this was at a particular kind of, we didn't know these people that well. We were friendly with some of the people there, and, you know, we're coming around and everybody's talking about all their trips and all the things they're doing. And I can't share in that kind of, you know, story or talk. And then somebody asks me, you know, kind of, what do you do? And I talk about the work that I do. I work with families that are impacted by addiction or toxicity. And, you know, it's like an epidemic and everybody's touched. And it was almost just kind of like, oh, good for you that you do that kind of work. And here's the reality of it. Those are my clients. That's the reality.
They were genuine in saying good for you.
They were genuine in saying that. But like, the reality is this. Every single one of us, what we forget in the moments where we're questioning our own value or our own worthiness is like, we're inventing a story that other people don't have shit, that other people don't have their own issues or their challenges, or life sucks for them. And so then we all kind of live in this Instagram filtered existence where we only want to be perfect. We only want to show up to the event in the gown with the blowout and the lashes.
Because it's going to, because half the people were taking selfies
all the time. Right, exactly. So
actually was an Instagram filter.
I prefer to live in when I get sucked out sometimes, right? I want to stay rooted in the truth and rooted in the reality is that we're all here just trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. We're all struggling. Different in the measure of what the areas in life that we're successful in are a direct reflection of what we value and nothing else. If I valued most money was something that I value more, believe me, I would be a millionaire many times over. I know how to do success. My level of success, though, isn't measured by money, it's measured by my relationships. And so that's why my life, my family is a reflection of what I value. It's not that I'm smarter at relationships than other people, it's I value it more, right? What you have in life is a direct reflection of what you value. So when I remember in those moments, hey, everybody else is struggling in the area that they don't value, right? That they haven't poured their heart into or their attention into. I've had clients come into my office and I've been tempted to buy into that story too. Oh my gosh, how can I help you? Look, you have everything. You have this life, this magical life that I would envision, right? Would be this perfect thing with all the money, access to everything you can ever imagine. But they sit down and they're broken inside.
And isn't that funny?
They're empty.
It's right? The same exact thing. You know, the old adage, don't judge a book by its cover.
You can't.
So the person comes in and the cover looks really nice. It's all nice and clean and it's got a nice picture on it and all of that. And then inside it's all tattered and torn and ripped to shreds.
That's what we have to remember.
Yeah.
Like in that event, when I was looking around and I was judging, right? Sizing up the room. Oh, they must have a good life because look at that blowout. Or they must have this because look at the car they're pulling up in. It's like, holy shit. Do you remember what you know? That people are just all kind of having their own areas of struggle and strength and all these different things. And so I was able to know, do I have enough at that event? I might have been triggered out financially by some of the things that I was seeing there, but that's not what I value. At the end of the day, what matters most to me is my relationships. And I can tell you, sitting there with my husband at this event, being supported by him, being, you know, sober in a room full of people drinking and just being contented, happy and rooted in my own kind of joy and my own truth.
And delicious lobster rolls.
And delicious lobster rolls. I felt more abundant than anybody in that place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it took me, I could have gone out of the game. I could have been taken out of my own reality if I wasn't rooted in my own truth. If I started comparing and playing that perfectionism game that just takes us out. It takes us out.
And that's why we talk about, you know, the single most important skill set is that awareness, that management of the state. If, you know, how you're feeling in that moment. If something you're feeling and you're feeling bad and you're feeling whatever non-resourceful, anger, frustrated, anxiety, inadequate is coming up, the odds are is that that's some BS story 99.99999% of the time, unless you like stepped on a tack or something. The reason why you're feeling bad is some BS story that you've been telling yourself, creating a comparison that is completely untrue because you don't have the whole story for the other person, because odds are those people are feeling the same exact way and they're going, geez, I hope if I dress nicer, then people won't think what a mess I am.
They won't know my wife's an alcoholic and
right.
that I hope she doesn't drink too much tonight. We'll just look good.
Right.
You know, and you're right. And I think, you know, a good question I like to ask myself, because this is coming from a lifetime of having to overcome this perfectionism, comparison, all these things that I've struggled with, because not enough was my motto in life, right? I ask myself this question all the time. If I had nothing to prove, what would I do? If I had nothing to prove, what would I want? If I had nothing to prove, where would I be? If I had nothing to prove, you know, and my answer is my real rooted truth. If I had nothing to prove, I'd wear freaking Rue 21 pants, man, because they're comfy and they fit well, right? If I had nothing to prove, I would, you know, I wouldn't have to pretend like I had a cocktail in my hand, right? I would just be empty-handed. I wouldn't have to get a drink that looked like it had a little bit of alcohol in it, right? Just be me. If I had nothing to prove, what would I do? And I hope that encourages you, you know? I think we're in an era now that comparison and competition and looking around is more prevalent than ever because we have access to it.
And what we're not doing is comparing ourselves to ourselves and just going, hey, am I a little bit closer to feeling more joy today? Am I a little bit closer? Like, I mean, instead of worrying about what other people are doing, just compare yourself to yourself and go, how do I want to feel right now? And can I change it? And stay in that mindset where the only thing because you can't change other people. You can't change anything other than your relationship with whatever is going on. So if you can check yourself and choose to be a little bit better the next day than you were the day before, than the moment you were before. And that's where the key is the other thing I want to acknowledge you for is that you didn't beat yourself up for even spending time in that state to begin with. Because some people do that too. They'll be like, oh no, right, they're on the path. And if you're watching us, you're very likely on some personal development path. Is that sometimes when you start learning it, then you go, oh, I know this stuff. And then you can start beating yourself up for not catching it soon enough instead of just being present, being like, aha, okay, and then make that shift.
Yeah, you'd be like, I've accepted this reality or worked on my relationship with my mother until she calls.
Right.
And then you go, oh, shit, no, I didn't. I'm right back where I started from. You know, if we have nothing to prove, what would we do? And I just want to encourage you that to be your motto. You know, even when we meet new people, I think it's really evident. You know, we can meet a human being, and as soon as, you know, you can tell a person like that you meet them and they want to lead with 50 things they do and how they do it. And hi, I'm so-and-so, and I do this, and I do this, and I do that, and I have this, and I have that. And it's like, dude, slow your roll. Okay? Let's just be. Right. And
sometimes the gift is there to be like, okay, that's where you're at, and just listen, let them do their thing, don't interrupt. Like, okay, cool, yeah, nice, you know,
good for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah.
All right.
But I love these kind of Teaching Tuesday moments, you know, because I think that in our own lives we're constantly students. You know, we're never really masters, right? We can get to that mastery path. You never really do. It's how do you use the tools and incorporate them as a spiritual practice in your life, and being kind to yourself as a spiritual practice. You know, like in that moment, tempted to beat yourself up, how quickly can you get out of that and go, no, what's my truth? Wow, I have enough of what I need. Wow, if I have nothing to prove, am I comfortable? If I have nothing to prove, am I enough? You know, and I know that you are. exactly wherever you're at. You know, there's such a spiritual practice of knowing what's enough. And my little Rue 21 pants, honey, were enough. Now
you rocked them.
Something we did do that was a little.
Okay, so there's a buffet, right? And it had a couple of different sections. It had a like all the sandwiches, the lobster rolls, there were, you know, finger food stuff, cheese thing, then like nice raw bar, and then a bit of a carving station. When we got there at the beginning of it, so it wasn't very crowded at all. So there was always gaps in the buffet line. So
you're not telling it how it really happened.
Yes, I am.
He goes, "Hey, you want a lobster roll?" I go, "Yeah, let me get in there." And I went in, and then we were like, "Yeah, that's good." And then we were walking around, and then we came around, and the line for the buffet was like a mile long.
But it wasn't that long like when we did that.
I just walked in there. I was like, "Yeah," and there was somebody standing there, but I was just kind of like, So here, who do these people think they are with their untucked shirts and their Rue 21 pants, busting in the buffet line?
Not quite the way.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Yeah.
All right, let's check in. They were lucky to have you guys. Oh, Betsy, you're so nice. But you look amazing no matter what. Erica, you cute sweetheart. All right, guys. Anybody have anything else going on? Anything you want to chime in? If you do, let us know. We will comment after we're done. What do we have going on? I'm going to Pennsylvania. Thursday. I'm leaving you.
For 12 days?
12 days. What is he going to do by himself here in Florida? He's going to be lonely.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's going to be more networking events that week than usual. I'll do that, and I'll miss you.
I know you're going to be lonely.
But we have for stuff. So, are there any networking events? Please let me know so I could find some more cool stuff.
I miss you too, Erica. We miss you.
And next Thursday. If I posted it on the wall, I'm doing a preview event with Bill Tavernese up in Palm Beach Gardens. We're doing a preview evening, so there'll be some networking and talking about real estate and having incredible certainty and confidence in navigating real estate. And then April Fool's Day, having another preview event, believe it or not, at Total Wine. So for our friends out there who hold events, Total Wine has a conference room in the back that is free. You can have events at, and if you're so inclined, depending on what your business model is and all of that, they also will offer a wine tasting, a complimentary wine tasting. So sometimes people are excited about that. And
if you live in Florida on March 27th from 7 to 9 p.m., Doug and I are doing an event in Fort Lauderdale on relationships. Talking all about love and relationships.
That's right. I forgot about that.
You can't forget.
I can't forget. We got to start posting it. We got to get the thing up.
If you have any questions or want to know more, message us.
Indeed.
We love you.
We love you for who you are and who you aren't.
If you're going to be somebody, it's best to be yourself.
It's easiest.
Bye.